Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Becca, this is Becca's Bookshelves, and this is my birthday book haul video. It was my birthday on the 12th of October, and I received books as gifts, and then I also received birthday money to go out and buy more books, because all these hundreds of unread books behind me are just not enough, you know. So I went and bought more, and I just thought I'd do like a quick video showing you what I got, just in case anybody's interested. And the first one that I'm going to tell you about is The Handsome Man's Deluxe Cafe. This is by Alexander McCall Smith. This is part of the Number One Ladies Detective Agency series, in which we follow Ma Ramotswe. She opened up a detective agency in Botswana, and this lady has literally, over the series, over the years, solved cases covering everything from like missing cattle, cheating husbands, to murder. Yeah, she's gone through a lot, this woman. But yeah, it's such a lovely series. It's me being like a big horror and thriller reader and sci-fi. It's not something that I would have said straight off that I would enjoy, but I've been reading the series for years and years, and I do really enjoy it. It's not something I could binge because it's a little dry sometimes, but I do enjoy it. It's kind of like stepping into Botswana. Alexander McCall Smith does an absolutely fantastic job of setting the scene and making you feel like you're right there. And I love how Precious Ramotswe, she has very traditional values, and she solves all these things that are going on in a very traditional, logical way that other people just, I don't know, they don't seem to think about. But yeah, it's a fantastic series. So even though I'm not up to this book yet, I think this one was the last one released in the series. And I'm about 3 books behind this, but I have been collecting the hardcovers when I see them. So yeah, I was chuffed to find that one. And then I have got a few medical memoirs, because, you know, can't not buy them. So I got this one off my mum, and it's a nurse's story by Louise Curtis. It is documenting her time working as a nurse in A&E during the COVID pandemic. There's not really a lot I can say about this, because once you've read one medical memoir, you sort of know roughly what to expect. And basically it's just kind of telling you about the patients that they come across, the families, the situations, the challenges, you know, the highs, the lows of that kind of job. But yeah, I always love stuff like this. So, and then with my money, I purchased Can You Hear Me by Jake Jones. This is a paramedics medical memoir. So again, very similar format. We know what's expected. It's just another different profession that's working in the medical area. Having worked on the ambulances at one point, I'm extremely interested in reading this one. And also I love that it's a hardcover. It's just a really nice edition, I think. It's really beautiful, actually. I mean, I don't know, you say Blue Paramedic is beautiful, but I just really like it. And then I also purchased Everything That Makes Us Human. This is the medical memoir of a child's brain surgeon. I'm not going to try and pronounce his name, because I'll really butcher it. And I did look online, and because it's a new book, and you know, a lesser known author, there's nothing out there that could help me figure out how to pronounce it, or that I couldn't find anything. So I'm not going to try. But again, we've got, you know, obviously talking about the highs, the lows, the challenges, etc, etc. Although, because of the type of profession this one is, I'm thinking it's going to be quite hard and quite emotional to read, especially as a parent of young children myself. And then I also got a Cathy Glass book off my mum. This one is A Terrible Secret. These are the foster care memoirs. You can see them here somewhere. I've got loads of them. I've read almost every single one that's out. I think this was the latest one that's just come out, or maybe it's the one before that, I'm not sure. But yeah, these are quite often children who are removed from the parents' care because of some kind of abuse, you know, whether it's psychological, physical, sexual, neglect, mental, etc. And I love these, and not because of like a morbid curiosity about that side of life, but because I know that exists, and it's amazing to read about the foster carers that are out there doing such a good job, and the way that children's lives can be turned around by the right kind of support and input. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading that one. And then my husband got me Last Night I Dreamed of Peace. Again, I'm not going to butcher that author's name. This is an actual kind of diary of a young female doctor during the Vietnam War. She was literally there with the troops fighting, right in the middle of the war zone, and she was treating injuries and sicknesses, and it's about her her fight for survival and the war through her eyes, not only as a doctor but also as a young woman. So she was actually killed during that war. In 1970 she was killed, and when they went through all her possessions they came across this journal, and it ended up being published, and it's one of the most well-known books to come out of Vietnam regarding the Vietnamese War. And it was actually found by US officers or US soldiers, and it was eventually returned to her family. And I think, I've not read it, but I've heard that it's quite emotional, and obviously it's told from the side of somebody who is Vietnamese, so it's probably not going to be the most complimentary about the US soldiers. And I just think that for them to return this to her family, and so that it can then be published, is just such an incredible act of, compassion and honesty. I actually wanted to purchase this from Vietnam when we travelled round and we was at the War Museum. I wanted to purchase this, however they only had the Vietnamese, and there was another one that was in another language, I can't remember. They didn't have any of the English language copies left, so I couldn't get it. But ever since then it's been on my Amazon wish list, and that was about 2 years ago, something like that. So yeah, so I'm really chuffed to finally get hold of this one. Continuing the birthday misery. I feel like all I've done so far is purchase upsetting, hard-hitting books, but there are some slightly easier ones coming up. So yeah, The Twins of Auschwitz. Eva Moses Carr is the author. This it wasn't on my wish list, it wasn't even on my radar, to be honest. However, I was bought it as a gift, and I was extremely happy to receive it as a gift. I've read quite a few of these kind of, I think a lot of them are more like fiction based on real stories, so they're not actually memoirs, but they've got a lot of real elements in them. And this one follows two young girls who were 10 years old when they was taken away to the concentration camps. On arrival, the entire rest of their family was taken and put straight into the gas chambers. They were killed straight away. And these two young girls were delivered straight to Dr. Mengele in his, hospital, where he did his experiments on them. And this is going to be a very, very hard, emotional read of these two young children trying to survive through the horrific things that he put them through. But I'm very, very interested in reading about this. I think these types of books are fantastic because they open up what could be a kind of dry, hard topic for some people, and they open them up and we get to learn a lot more. Finally, some fiction, yay! Dread Nation. Oh, look at it. It's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I have had this on my wish list since it first came out, and I've just for some reason never got around to buying it and never got around to reading it, obviously. My husband purchased this off my wish list, and I was so happy when I opened the package and found this. I've just been looking at it in Waterstones recently, and I was going to buy it, and then I was like, no, it's my birthday soon, you never know. So I'm so chuffed. I know very, very little about this book, despite being desperate to read it. What I do know is historical fiction with zombies. We have got a young girl who is trained in all these like ninja type skills, and her job is to protect the wealthy people who employ her from the Walking Dead, zombies, whatever you want to call them. But something happens, she uncovers some kind of conspiracy, and she's taken away from that situation and put into like danger, and that is all I know. I don't know what time period it's set in because I haven't looked into it. It doesn't tell you on the back. I just know it's historical, zombies, and the fact that I absolutely loved Pride, Prejudice and Zombies. I just thought, yeah, we'll give it another go. History and zombies, what's not to love? And clearly I'm not the only one who thinks that, because this book was raved about when it first came out, and everybody I saw talking about it, and even people who I've seen since reading it, they've all rated it very highly. So I'm really looking forward to it. Then we've got Bite by K.S. Merbeth. This one, I just spotted it in a charity shop, and I thought, oh, Bite, let's have a look at this. And when you read the back, it's quite generic post-apoc stuff. So it's very like, something's happened, we're in this post-apocalyptic period. There's a kid called Kid. They are actually called Kid. So there's a kid called Kid who then gets picked up on the side of the road. This kid is alone, gets picked up by this group of survivors or raiders, whatever you want to call them. And Kid thinks that this is the rescue that they've been waiting for. However, as they travel through, the country and the raiding and the getting supplies, they begin to realise something. Kid begins to realise something isn't quite right about these group of survivors that they're with. And that's kind of the most information that you get on the back. And I was like, And then it mentions something about, like, the very end, would Kid choose to stay hungry or lose her humanity? So me then thinking, does that mean they're eating people? Is that what this is hinting at? So then I was like looking, I couldn't get a signal in the shop to check on Goodreads. So I was looking at the front, and look what I spotted. The license plate on the car is basically cannibals. And I was like, oh yes, this is coming home with me, definitely. So yeah, so I bought it, and then obviously checked on Goodreads, and it is about cannibals. So I am so excited to have found that. And then last but certainly not least is Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. This was a gift from Connor at Connor's Library Corner. Thank you so much, Connor. It's really, really appreciated. This was on my wish list for quite some time, and everybody seems to have read it and talked about it. In fact, I've not even read a single Riley Sager book at all, never mind this one. However, I'm reading my first one this weekend, and that's Home Before Dark. So I'm hoping that these books do live up to the hype. Lock Every Door has got super high ratings. I don't think I've actually heard or seen of anybody that doesn't like it. And from what I know, we've got a young woman who takes a kind of job to be a house sitter or a tenant within this, I don't know if is it an apartment? Yeah, in an apartment in New York, I think. The only issue is that the apartment is rumoured to be like haunted or spooky. And there's a few rules that come with it, is that she can't ever have visitors, she can't stay away from the apartment overnight, and she can't disturb the other residents in the building. She agrees to those terms, everything seems fine, but then information starts coming to light about missing girls and, you know, secrets being hidden. And that's as much as I need to know. It just sounds really creepy. And such a great thriller, so I will definitely be reading this soon, because I planned to do a Riley Sager and John Marrs kind of binge-a-thon in November, so I'm going to try and read two of each author and see what I think, so I will let you know. And that's all of them. I feel like that's a pretty small birthday haul for books, but I had to, like, I feel like I've been trying to restrain myself recently in buying books, just because I've got all these and I'm also getting ARCs from NetGalley as well, and I just can't read. I can't read fast enough to keep up with them all. So I decided that I was not going to buy any more books that I'm not desperate to read, that I'm not gonna, you know, put on a shelf and not read for years. I just want to get through some of them, and all those books I will hopefully read over the next few months, because I'm desperate to read all of them. Although I probably said that about all these as well at some point. But yeah, so I've tried to be a little more restrained this year. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all soon with another video. Bye.